Today I'm going to be talking about what first-time buyer questions, the why, the what, what's going on. So I'll go through the main questions that I get from first-time buyers, but by all means, comment in the chat if there's any questions that I've forgotten that you would also ask. Want answered. What I'm hoping by the end of this video, you as a first-time buyer will get a much better understanding of when it comes to buying a property and what you need to know, etc. But as I said, by all means, any questions that I don't answer, feel free to comment in the chat. My name is The Mortgage Coach. I was an accountant for 20 years. I bought in my 20s myself. I've helped hundreds of first-time buyers. I was an accountant for 20 years, and for the last, well, since 2019, I've been a mortgage advisor. So I think I can answer a lot of your questions. So the first question is, why should you buy a property and not rent it? Now, my dad always said to me, why pay someone else's mortgage? So that's what I'm going to say to you. The reason why I'd say if you can, it's not always possible, but if you can, buy your own property, because it's an asset and then you actually own something, rather than paying for years and years and years someone else's mortgage, which is paying for their property. So that's how I'd answer. Why is getting on the property ladder so important? I'd say it gives you financial stability, it's good security, and it really is great to have that valued asset, which I mentioned before. So I've covered the why, now the what. What is the process of buying a property as a first-time buyer? Now, I'll do it in summary. I have got a video that does it in a lot more detail, but basically, in essence, you obviously need your deposit, you need a decent credit, and it's affordability and all that good stuff. Then once you've got that, you obviously look for the property, which the estate agent can help you with. Once you've done that and you're saving your deposit and building up your credit, as I say, you then apply for what's called a decision in principle. Once you've got the decision in principle, you then go on to do the full mortgage application. From the full mortgage application, get the mortgage offer. Then once you've got the mortgage offer, that's when the solicitor is involved. And once the solicitor involved, they do their part, and then you get exchange, which is where you exchange the contracts with the seller and the buyer. And then after exchange is completion. Completion is when the money gets paid over and you get the keys to the property. So that's it in a nutshell. As I say, I've got several videos on my channel, so please feel free to sort of check those ones out. Again, if you're loving this video, please like it, comment if you've got any more questions, and in order to get more videos like this, please subscribe and tick that bell so you can see when the new videos are coming out. The next question is, what is a mortgage and how does it work? So a mortgage is a loan specifically for a property. So it's a property loan, and the way it works is there's kind of two main types. So there's the capital in the repayment and the interest only. Now, when you have a mortgage, when you get a loan, there's the principal amount, which is the amount you're actually borrowing, and then there's the interest that you're charged for actually borrowing that money. Now, if you're on a capital and repayment, each monthly payment that you make, some of it pays off the actual initial loan and some of it pays off the interest, and that way at the end of the set term, be it 20 years, 25 years, whatever you agree, you will no longer owe the bank or building society any money. You will own your property outright. If you go for interest only, which is normally what you do with buy-to-lets, that is when you're just paying the interest and you're not paying the principal. The next question is who? Who is eligible to be a first-time buyer? Now, first-time buyers are people that have either never bought before, or they may have bought several years ago, or in certain circumstances, lenders will accept if you were married and you both bought the property together, and then you get divorced, and one of you gets to keep the property and the other one has to literally start over. They would class them as first-time buyers because they've no longer got that original property. Some people that have bought and sold and have been renting for years, or they've bought, paid off the mortgage, and they're now deciding to sort of start afresh and buy somewhere new, they could also be considered first-time buyers. So some lenders, if you haven't actually had a mortgaged property in, say, over 3 years or 5 years, depending on the lender, they could also consider you a first-time buyer. So for that essence, the advantage there would be you'd be able to get first-time buyer rates for the lender. Now, when it comes to for land registry and stamp duty, that's the tax you pay when you register the property at land registry. Sometimes you get tax exemption from stamp duty, which at the moment, as of this recording, is 425,000 if you're considered a first-time buyer. If you're not, then obviously you will have to pay that tax. Your solicitor will be able to give you more detail on that, or I could do a video. Please put it in the comments if you'd like one. Who can help me through the buying process? So it's a combination of people, really. An estate agent is a great person to help you find the property. A mortgage advisor, I'd always say a mortgage advisor and not a mortgage broker. A mortgage broker is great at finding that deal. When I say deal, I say, you know, the best rate for the best product fee, and obviously I can go into more detail on that if you'd like to know. By all means, put it in the comments if you'd like to know more about that. But I always say a mortgage advisor, because what we do is we don't just look at the best deal, we look at the whole thing holistically. We ask you what you plan to be doing in the next 5 years to work out whether you want a 2-year fixed or a 5-year fixed. It's not all about whether the interest rates are going to go up and down. Sometimes it's to do with you. Are you on a career path where your salary is going to double in the next couple of years? For example, back when I was an accountant, when I was part qualified, I was on a certain salary. As soon as I passed my last 3 exams and came completely qualified, my salary doubled. So knowing that, I would have done a mortgage which would have ended at that point. So when I remortgage, I can take into consideration a higher income. Now, when is the best time to buy a property? Interesting. I think everybody at the moment, because interest rates are higher than they have been for a while, some people are waiting, some people are going for it anyway. My belief is if you find a property that you're going to live in for a long time, considering properties normally double in value every 10 years, then, you know, any time is a good time. If you've already got the deposit and you're worried about starting to spend it, then now is a good time. If you find a property and you can actually know that you'll be doing it up, then again, you know, that will improve the value of the property later on. That also is a good time. When should you start looking for a mortgage? Now, it depends what you mean by that. A lot of people say getting a mortgage or getting the decision in principle. A lot of estate agents will ask for a decision in principle, or an application in principle, in order to either let you put an offer in on a property or even let you view a property. So then might be a good time. What I think is best, as soon as you decide that you're interested in getting your first property, I would seek out a mortgage advisor, because what they can do is they can actually tell you how much you can borrow based on your affordability, and that's a combination of credit commitment, your credit footprint, your income, and a few other factors that they take into consideration. And based on all of that, they can say to you, you know, for example, you can borrow 400,000, and then you can say to yourself, okay, well, I want to put down a 10% deposit. Okay, I need to save up 40,000. Or I'm going to put down a 5% deposit. I need to make sure I've got the 20,000. So that is something to consider, and that's when I'd say would be a good time to start looking. Where should I buy my first property? Now, back before COVID, I would have definitely said make sure it's close to work, make sure it's close to amenities and all those kind of things. If you're of a certain age and you're planning to have kids soon, you might want to be in a catchment area for a school. So, depending on what you want from your life, you have to make a list. What's important to you would determine that location question. But the one thing I would say is, because so many people can work from home since COVID in particular, it means that you don't have to be as concerned about the location. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you've enjoyed it, like it. If you've got any questions that I haven't covered, please put them in the comments and I will do another video for you. So please subscribe so you can get more of these videos. I really enjoy helping you. So yeah, just let me know in the chat what you thought, and if there's anything else you need. Take care. Bye-bye.